All right. Welcome back to the Daily Mastermind. George Wright III here with your daily dose of inspiration, motivation, and education. We are going live again on Facebook, but really excited to be able to interact some more with you. And I hope you've been able to download the Daily Mastermind podcast if you're listening to it on Apple Podcast or Google Play. I appreciate it. We've got a lot of stuff I want to cover. But what I'm going to do is a real short update episode for you today. And then what I'm going to do is really drill deep next week with some of the interviews and things that we have lined up. So hope you had a great week, and I hope you're going into a good weekend. I'm looking forward to missing the snow here in Utah and heading down to Arizona and getting some sun. So with that said, we're going to start with the Daily Mastermind quote of the day, and it's by Marie Forleo. This is a great one because it's actually a great strategy. She says, giving is a great business strategy. Giving is definitely a great business strategy because giving and serving, especially if you're focused inside your unique talent, is something that is really going to help you to expand what you love and you're passionate about, but also be able to help people around you, especially if you're a business owner. So that's the first thing. The second thing that I wanted to talk to you about today is I mentioned in yesterday's podcast that we had a really good event for a high net worth 3-day summit. And one of our speakers was the former senior prosecuting attorney for the IRS, Scott Estel. And we had a segment on business taxes and one on personal taxes. And as a gift to you, I'm going to drop that this next week out to you so that you can learn ways that you can save thousands and thousands of dollars on your personal and your business taxes. And it's very important that you understand how to best and the different definition between business planning and business preparation. See, most of us prepare for taxes. We don't plan for minimizing taxes. And so I'm going to get you some of that content. It's good to see you guys on. And so we'll get that this next week. I'm going to drop that out to you. It's just a gift. I mean, I just put the content out there so that you can use it, but get going with your business and your personal taxes. And finally, we've had a lot of people ask, but if you haven't downloaded the Daily Mastermind mobile app, remember that's the app I created that's totally free on Apple as well as Google Play. If you download that, we've got a new tab that's going to be added for events. And so all of the webinars that we're doing for personal development, asset protection, tax strategies, estate planning, stock, currency, and most importantly, Forex, because Forex, with it being a $7 trillion industry with digital and Forex, I know a lot of people are trying to learn more about blockchain and working in the Forex markets, and we have some amazing experts. But we have events on the mobile app. We also have some content. So we're going to be dropping a lot of really, really valuable content. You won't just be listening to me, unfortunately, or fortunately. But so download that app. Now, for those of you that might be catching me post-podcast on YouTube, you probably wonder why I keep like moving my arms. I'm so sore right now because you can thank my personal trainer, Jeff Cameron, for that. And it's spelled Cameron. Hopefully blow him up because, man, I'll tell you what, that guy is amazing. But he and I are really going to dig deep over the next couple of months. And I'm going to really step up my game when it comes to, dropping body fat percentage, increasing muscle mass, lean muscle mass, because I know that for me personally, and I want to talk to you about this, the personal fitness really affects every part of my life. It affects business. It affects, relationships, energy levels, and everything. So I'm going to dig really deep. But he said something. He said, look, I want you to really dig deep. And it got me thinking about something I wanted to talk to you about today. And that is, you do need to dig deep. See, a lot of us, we're excited about personal development. We're excited about our business. We're excited about doing things in life. And so we put these daily rituals I keep talking about in place. You might meditate or journal or listen to podcasts or, train and learn and grow. But what's very, very important is that sometimes we confuse and we fool ourselves by thinking that those daily rituals and those things we're doing are fixing or solving problems that we internally need to work on, and they don't. So you have to dig deep. For example, you can't just read or meditate or do what you're going to do. If you have some issues that you got to work on, maybe some false beliefs or some limiting beliefs. And so it's very important that you dig deep. Look, I got divorced years back, and there was a big point in time where I said, look, I just want to move forward. So I started in the mornings, working out, meditating and doing affirmations, all those things. But I really didn't take the time to sit back and dig deep and work on the things that I needed to work on. And because of that, time went by and life went well, but I still had to come back and deal with that. We talked yesterday about having cycles where these lessons that you're not learning because you're still going through the cycle because you haven't learned the lesson. A lot of times it's just because you haven't worked on it. And so you have to dig deeper. You have to dig through that layer of, I just want to stay busy. I just want to stay active. And you've got to identify, and this is what I mean, don't fear what you have to uncover. Don't fear your limiting beliefs. Identify them, confront them. Because once you confront them, for example, if you have a habit of focusing on the wrong things, then you can gear your daily rituals towards helping you with that. Maybe for you, you've been doing daily rituals that are simple for you rather than the ones you should be doing. Maybe for you, you've been doing, reading or meditation or your affirmations, and you're telling yourself what you want your life to be like, but you're not working on things that you really need to, like your fitness or journaling and working through those thoughts. And there's a lot of ways you can do that. But I just want you to know that if you'll dig deeper, then you can customize your rituals around what you need. And for me, working out keeps me motivated and energetic and things like that, but it doesn't work on the things I needed to do. I needed to spend a little more time journaling. I needed to spend some time doing those kind of things that were important. And just keep this in mind. You can handle much, much more than you give yourself credit. If you haven't caught that episode I did with my thoughts from David Goggins, one of the guys I go to all the time, he makes that comment that we all most people quit at 40%. And the reason this is the case is because your brain it's wired to protect you. So it's like when you see something bad coming up or things you have to deal with, it starts putting on the brakes. And that's why we stop at 40% most of the time. But once you've kicked that 40%, or once you hit the 40% and you go one more rep, one more set, you spend one more hour on the thing you're supposed to go. What happens is your brain shifts a notch. And now your brain's in a mode of trying to help you and solve problems. But it's not concerned at all about helping you solve your problems when it knows it wants to get you away from it. So it's very, very important that you focus and identify on the things that you need to focus on. And if you'll do that, I know it'll make a difference for you. Now, one more final thought I want to give you, and it's funny because my trainer sent me this, and I've heard it before, but it really hit the spot. And so I thought it would be good to kind of share it with you, because I don't want you to, as you dig in, maybe this weekend or over the next coming weeks or through the end of the year, you dig into the deeper issues that you need to kind of work on so that you can be firing at all cylinders. I don't want you to be worried about failure. Just remember, working on your stuff is not about always solutions, because stumbling and creating mistakes and things like that is what we need to do in order to learn and grow. Failure is it's the key to the gateway to success. You can't get in without it. So be okay with mistakes. And he sent me this little poem that Theodore Roosevelt did, and many of you will know, and you're familiar with the poem, The Man in the Arena. I think that's the name of it, The Man in the Arena. And I'm going to read it to you because it's got some really good words of wisdom. It became a very, very famous, Roosevelt was upset with all these critics that were out there. And you might have critics, you might be listening to critics out there, you might be hearing these kind of things, but you need to stop listening to the critics. You need to stop worrying about what other people think. And so he had this speech, and then he gave this speech. I'm going to just read it to you before we go here. It says, "It's not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there's no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows at the end, the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat." So don't worry about the critics. Their opinion doesn't even count. All that counts is the people that are in the game. All those sideline fans, those backseat drivers, like none of that stuff matters. You've got to be the one that's in the arena. And you're the one who's going to benefit from that. And you're the one who's going to create your life, because I always keep saying it's never too late to start creating the life you were meant to live. Starting today, not Monday, not tomorrow, starting right now. Do what it is you think you need to do and start digging deep. And that's my message for today. I hope you'll refer the Daily Mastermind podcast, download it on iTunes. I think you'll really enjoy some of the guests that we have coming this next week as well. Once again, my name is George Height III, and this has been the Daily Mastermind. Have an amazing day.